And it looks like Nissan is moving forward with stripping Carlos Ghosn of almost all power he had within the company, while Renault is taking a little bit more of a wait-and-see approach. Here are the details that have come out over the last 24 to 48 hours. And with regard to Carlos Ghosn's chairmanship of Nissan, they said the other day they were going to boot him out of that job. Well, they did it officially. The board voting to strip him of the chairman title. By the way, he's still on the board until the shareholders vote to remove him. That will happen potentially in the next couple of months when there's a meeting. He remains in detention in Tokyo. There is no time frame for formal charges to be filed against Carlos Ghosn. Some of the details coming out in reports out of Japan regarding this scandal, one of them from Dow Jones, is that Carlos Ghosn's sister was reportedly paid more than $100,000 for consulting work that she never did. Carlos Ghosn reportedly also ordered payment of $1.5 million for house renovation work. That is according to NHK. The prosecutor's office in Japan held a press conference yesterday where the prosecutor said there are those who call this a minor infraction, the fact that he is being held and investigated for filing reports where his income was misstated. There are those who call this a minor infraction, but in fact it is ranked among the gravest offenses when it comes to financial crimes in Japan. Take a look at shares of Nissan and Renault. Guys, there is an undercurrent here that many people have really not been aware of until this scandal broke, and that's that there is growing tension between Nissan and Renault in this alliance. Remember, Renault owns 43% of Nissan, but Nissan only owns 15% of Renault. And for a long time, the feeling in Japan was, hey, the folks in France are trying to call the shots with regard to this alliance, even though Nissan sells more vehicles and in many ways is a much more powerful company. So that's the undercurrent behind the growing tension and this scandal involving Carlos Ghosn. Guys, back to you.
What's the latest on Renault, Phil? The board has met, correct? Have they gone as far as Nissan in terms of ousting?
Yeah, they met.
Yeah, okay.
They met, and they kept him as chairman while they investigate this matter and look for more details and more information out of Japan. So that could change at some point. But effectively, look, he's in detention. He has no day-to-day powers. There's a deputy CEO that has been appointed at Renault. The next 2 weeks will be interesting because then we'll finally see, are there charges that are going to be filed? And also, what maneuvering does Carlos Ghosn have at all? Because right now, he's in a box.
Hey, Phil, the other question, though, and I imagine it's the real reason that you've seen the stock fall as much as it has is, you know, when you see something like this happen, you say to yourself, okay, were there other shenanigans, financial, accounting, or otherwise, taking place inside this company? It's one thing for, I'm not dismissing the $100,000 payment to the sister or even the $1 million payment for the house, but that is ultimately going to be immaterial to shareholders. The question is there something larger going on in terms of how they may have reported numbers or sales or I don't know what that might be weighing on this stock? Is there any, or these companies rather, is there any indication of that?
There's no indication, Andrew, and you hit to the heart of the concerns that investors have. There are really two of them. One, are there broader financial shenanigans that are going to come out at some point that make people say, wait a second, they're not as profitable as we thought? And two, if this alliance falls apart, you've got two smaller automakers, one with Renault being in Europe, which is a fragmented market, slowing down at a fairly decent clip. What happens there? Those are the two things that are weighing on these stocks.